Everybody, there's 3 minutes to go before the live streaming, so please take your seats and switch your mobile phones off. Thank you.
We're going to start in 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
Can people take their seats, please?
I would like to invite the people here to take their seat. We're going to start soon.
We can turn it up, don't worry.
Yes.
No? Okay, perfect. Yeah. 1 minute and a half, streaming.
Are we going to show the video first? We're going to show the video first? The video.
As you prefer, you have to decide.
Fabrizia, il video? Lo mandiamo video subito? Lo mandiamo
Sì, quando
video.
parte lo streaming faccio countdown.
E quindi io esco dalla cosa? No? Certo, non devo perché...
Sì, se vuoi già stare.
Sì, sto qua, esatto. Sì. Non lo sanno che parte il video. Sì. Ok.
Perché sei passata davanti e sicuramente per quello che se tu me lo lasci libero.
Buongiorno a tutti, a tutte. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the European Young Chef Award and Competition. Here we are in Sicily, in Giarre, near Mount Etna, at the Istituto Falcone Hospitality School. And today we're gonna meet the Europe's most promising young chef. They will share with us their recipes, their stories, and they will compete by presenting their innovative dishes. Yesterday they worked on traditional dishes, but today they will give them a twist and work on innovation. I'm happy to be here with you. I would like to welcome all of you who are watching this competition from home, all the supporters or the families. But first of all, I would like to welcome and thank Dr. Diane Dodd, who is the mind, the soul, the spirit, the heart of the International Institute of Gastronomy, Arts, Culture, and Tourism. Welcome, Diane, and thank you so much for all these great things you created and founded.
Thank you so much, and also thank you to the Hospitality School. We've had amazing, amazing food here over these days while we've been preparing, and the staff and the students have been so professional, so I want to thank them all.
And of course, later we will meet the jury, because there's no competition without the jury. We will meet all the members. They have a really hard task. I will not be in their shoes. I don't want to be in their shoes, but they are great. They are experts, chef, professional. I would like to also ask Diane, what's behind the idea of IGCAT, the International, of course, Culture, Gastronomy, Arts and Tourism Institute?
Yes, well, IGCAT is the International Institute of Gastronomy, Culture, Arts and Tourism. We were founded over 14 years ago. The idea being that we would work across sectors to resolve challenges that many of our regions have, particularly in their food supply, because of globalization, because of differing and changing ways we eat. We realized that we needed to do something. And so the idea came to have an award called the European Region of Gastronomy Award. It's been, next year it will be 10 years of European Regions of Gastronomy Award and 20 regions already awarded. These regions are committed to protecting and promoting their food and cultural diversity. And it was the regions that came up with the idea of supporting young chefs in becoming ambassadors for their regions. And so that's where the competition started.
And how many young chef leaders you have, and how many of them became ambassadors?
Yes, well, we're very, very proud. This is our 8th edition, and we now have over 70 young chef ambassadors working across Europe who are committed now in their careers going forward to protecting and promoting the food and culture of their regions. So that's very special.
And you say the idea behind it is to focus on sustainability. But today, how hard it is to be sustainable, to be creative at the same time, and to, respect the traditions of local communities?
Well, it's very tough. As we know, with globalized food that comes into our markets that's much cheaper, there's a lot of work to be done to educate people about the importance of buying local, supporting the circular economy, supporting those producers that are producing healthy and local food, the health benefits of that, but also the benefits for the economy and also the benefits for tourism. Because when we talk about sustainable and regenerative tourism, the visitors are increasingly responsible visitors, and they want to taste that authentic culture and food. I think this is an opportunity really for us to inject pride again in our past. Because, what happens quite often in the regions is that what is very normal for us, that we grew up with, that we had every weekend at our grandmother's house, seems boring for us. But for a visitor, it's very, very important.
And this is the 8th edition of a European Young Chef Award. And how you have an overview of, what's going on all over Europe. How is it changing in this competition and this award in terms of awareness from the young chef?
Yes, when we first started out, our ideas of sustainability were very much about just thinking about supporting local producers, which is an incredibly important part of this competition. But over the years, everybody has had an input into this, and we've pushed the criteria much further. So now we're looking at things like whether the young chefs understand about the plant and animal varieties that they're supporting, because we know if they don't eat it, the farmers and the fishermen won't produce it, they won't provide it. So this is a way of supporting Also biodiversity by keeping plant and animal varieties in the market. It's also about thinking about things like food waste, about plastic waste. A lot of plastic waste traditionally in the kitchen, so we're trying to eliminate that and go back to old methods of preserving food. We're also looking at, even more in depth, what are the animals being fed? How are we sustainable about that? Because a lot of the feed comes from overseas, and that's not sustainable. So we're really looking in depth into all of these questions, and every year the criteria grows, and it's quite tough for the young chefs because they're taking all of these areas on board.
And every year, two regions host this edition. How about last year?
Last year it was hosted in Hauts-de-France. That was European Region of Gastronomy 2023. And we're very, very proud that it's in Sicily this year because Sicily will be European Region of Gastronomy in 2025. So this is a kind of a kickstart for the year.
As Jan mentioned, Sicily is going to be the European Region of Gastronomy in 2025. And I would like to meet and introduce to you Professor Vincenzo Russo, who promoted and supported the Sicily as a region, and is a great opportunity for this beautiful island.
Yes, it's a really great responsibility too. It's a great important opportunity for us because we believe in the project, we believe in the strategy of IGCAT, and thank you for your presence here, for the presence of the jury and the whole participant of this amazing day. So for us it's really important because we have a very strong tradition in gastronomy, but I think it's very important to improve the awareness of the people on the respect of the sustainability, biodiversity, and I think it's very important to respect the tradition. So there are a lot of projects that we are planning for the next year, and we wanted to involve young people, but all people, all stakeholders in the territory, because it's very important to have the involvement of young people, companies, public sector, private sector, in order to have the same strategy. This, I think, is very important, to the same strategy. I want to say that there is the involvement of all departments of Sicilian region, and it's very important to have the same strategy.
Thank you so much. I have actually more questions for you later, but before I would like to meet and greet the jury members. Of course, as we said, there's no competition with the jury members. They are all super expert chef. They are really like a professional. I would like to start with the winner from last year edition, who is Boshan Volk. Boshan is a chef. He won the competition last year, and he also he runs a family restaurant. He earned different several medals. He's a professional chef. Boshan, how does it feel to be on the other side of the table?
Yeah, thank you. It's really nice, but this competition is really nice, and taste, food, zero waste, and everything around this it's important for me.
What would you like to tell to young and talented chef today? I'm sure they are a little bit nervous, but any tips from them?
No problem, because I don't cook today, and I don't.
So you've been decided, but probably we all know which is easier. But I'm sure you have to also work a lot. Thank you so much, Boshan. I would like also to meet and introduce Frida Jensen, who is a pastry chef and who won the third prize 3 years ago. She is not only a famous pastry chef, but she also focuses on sustainability. Frida, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Welcome. Let us know more about being a pastry chef today and by bringing the sustainability topic into the food scene.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I'm very honored to be on this side of the table this year. I'm looking forward to tasting the dishes. I think it's very nice that this competition focuses a lot on sustainability and not just the waste, but also local produces and the storytelling. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Thank you so much, Frida. And here I would like to also meet and introduce Per Theodor Torrisen, who is a chef project leader, Northern Norway Competence Center for Food. He's also very passionate about sustainability, and he brings this topic in Food Symposium. He also works a lot to bring awareness in the Arctic cuisine. And of course, I know that you will confirm or not that Norway is going to compete in 2028 as a European Region of Gastronomy. First of all, thank you so much, Theodor. And I would like to ask you, give me 3 reasons why your region should win in the future competition.
Yeah, thank you. 3 reasons. Well, first of all, I think we have a lot of strategies and plans that are developed over time in Nordland, which is my region in northern Norway, that corresponds really good with the ideas and values that IGCAT has. So that is maybe one of the best reasons I can think of, is that we have the plans and the strategies already there. Second of all, I think we represent culture and mindset when it comes to food production, both on land and sea, that for us Norwegians always have been about producing food in a way that sustains health and the environment. It hasn't been, the word sustainability is quite new, but it's always been a part of our soul, so to speak. We use a very little amount of antibiotics. We produce vegetables and greens in an environment that is quite tough. We have a lot of light, long cold days. We don't need to use pesticides as much. We still have a lot of small family farms. So our values as a people also corresponds a lot with the values that IGCAT has. And I think it's about time that we have a region from the Arctic Circle, above the Arctic Circle. So we would be the first Arctic European Region of Gastronomy if we get the title in 2028.
I think these are really great reasons for sure. Thank you so much, Per Theodor Torrisen, and let me introduce also Dr. Julia Dragut from Romania. She's not new though to this, of course, competition. She's also she plays a key role on the food gastronomy scene, and she organizes several festivals. I want to mention a couple of them: Sustainable Fish Festival, and also she leads a very interesting program, gastronomic education in Romania. I would like to welcome and thank Dr. Julia Dragut and ask her how important it is today, more than ever, to teach kids at school to have a different approach to food. And what it is this gastronomic education program about?
First of all, thank you very much for having me here. Thank you for IGCAT's invitation. Gastronomic education is extremely important because I think we are losing the main engine of life, food. Now we are in a very high dynamic. We forget about things that they are more than important. So I'm thinking about mindfulness, on biotops, biodiversity, and all these concepts has to be shown to the children in order for them to understand, not to imagine how a life or how a world will become if. No abstractization, but facts. So what IGCAT has here is extremely important. It's one of a kind competition, and I'm judging for 15 years now in different competitions around the world. But this one is extremely special because it focuses on sustainability on one hand, on the fact that these kids who are the juniors, the youngsters who are participating will understand fully the assignment. That's why they are signing this agreement to become the ambassadors of these major concepts. So yes, in Romania I'm trying the same. It depends from country to country how they approach the subject, the topic of sustainability. In Romania we are trying it for 18 years now, and I hope we'll be on the good track in the future as well.
Thank you so much. You're doing great thing. You are on the right track. Thank you for being here, and as always speaking by education. We have José Luis Marques, director of the Coimbra School of Hospitality and Tourism in Coimbra, in Portugal. As a director, of course, you know what's going on within the education system. Do you think the approach from from the students changed, and how has changed? Speaking by food wise.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Education and training, of course, is fundamental for young people and for everyone. Initial education and training, but we should not forget lifelong education and training for the professional, for older people. Of course, we heard Dr. Diane's words about philosophy of IGCAT and the ethics of IGCAT and these kind of competitions. And that's really it. That's what we are now focusing in our schools, at least in Portugal, in my school, in our school network, I think a little over Europe and the world, is focusing on that, sustainability, promoting local producers, local products, regional development, because that's present, but that's mainly the future. So it's not always only food, it's our health, it's economy, it's a very important economic activity, and that's why we must focus on the culinary arts programs nowadays. We are doing it, we are passing the message to young people, but again, that's our work also there in our schools. We must accompany the actual professionals, because they probably didn't have these opportunities of being at this kind of culinary programs. So I think we are in the right track. We are looking after our health. It's one of our best pleasures in life, eating, but we must be rational. We must preserve natural resources, and it's also about the health of our planet. For what I've been understanding here these days, these young talents are already in the right track.
Thank you so much. We are on the right track. And last but not least, she is the chair of the jury, Chef Martina Caruso. She's a chef, a Sicilian chef at Signum Restaurant Hotel, run by her family. She was the youngest female chef as a Michelin starred when she will tell us when. And she is, of course, a popular, famous chef in Sicily. Thank you, Martina Caruso, for being here. And how old you were when you were awarded as a Michelin chef?
25 anni, tanto buongiorno a tutti e sono molto contenta di far parte di questo evento, di questa competizione con la giuria. e sono molto citata appunto per assaggiare i piatti. Sì, avevo 25 anni quando ho preso la prima stella, poi è arrivata un premio per chef donna e poi anche la stella verde sempre della Michelin per la sostenibilità.
So she was 25 years old when she was awarded as a Michelin chef, and also her restaurant hotel. She was awarded with a new prize from Michelin, the Green Star. Martina, what is your expectation today from this young chef? What do you expect from them?
Diciamo di fare un viaggio con i piatti che trasmettono appunto il territorio e i sapori.
So she said that she would expect to travel ideally within the different regions, within the different territories. Thank you so much, Martina. Thank you so much, all the jury members. I wish you good luck today. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm sure they will do great. That's interesting to notice that this year competition, 7 out of 8 finalists are women, so there's like a good, I don't want to get into the political issue of gender, but that's interesting. It's more than a trend. It's something changing. There is more awareness, but even more, the women have more, opportunity, or still you think this profession is dominated by, the male quota, let's say this way?
Well, definitely things are changing. I must admit that when we started this competition in the first edition, we only had young male chef contestants. And it made us think, because many of our hospitality schools are filled with talented young women, but why weren't they coming forward for the competition? So we did 2 things. One thing was we put more of an emphasis on the fact that this isn't about you. It's not something that you're doing for your own, necessarily for your own career benefit, but you're doing this also for your community. You're doing this for the planet. You're doing it for sustainability. You're doing it for this is a commitment to other values and principles. And when this was brought out and we asked the schools to really, inject this message, we had many more young women coming forward. I think they feel much more comfortable about doing something for others instead of doing it for themselves. So that was a change. I think the other thing is that we, from the very beginning, we made sure that we had gender balance on the jury because we wanted to send a very, very strong signal to young women that this is also a career opportunity for you. And it has been male-dominated, but that doesn't mean it has to be in the future. I applaud all of the courageous women that came forward. We have 3 fantastic examples on the jury of women who've come forward and kind of broken that ceiling and have moved into to be top chefs in the world. And we're now going to see 7 very, very talented young chefs for the future. And I think, there's no difference between men and women. They all have talent, and so they should have that equal opportunity. So, yes, I'm pleasantly surprised that the balance has shifted.
Yeah, that's interesting. We are looking forward to welcome them. I'm not sure. I don't think they are still ready. They're working on their, of course, dishes. But I have more question from Diana for Professor Vincenzo Russo. You work a lot with local communities. And what is their feedback?
Yeah, I think there is a very great interest because they understood that it's a very important opportunity. So we are working in order to create a local project everywhere in Sicily in order to have a more involvement of the community, more involvement for the young people in particular. And so for this reason, we will participate to all competitions for IGCAT for the next year, and with the involvement of many communities in Sicily. Sicily is a very big island with many different approaches in the gastronomy, and thanks to the agricultural department of Region Sicily, we wanted to involve all partners, all stakeholders everywhere.
Yeah, I think this cross-sectorial approach is really important. You know, it's a win-win for everybody. Who doesn't care about where their food comes from, you know? So that's why we started out working with hospitality, arts, culture, and sustainable tourism. But now we're working with agriculture, health, education. There's so many people that can get involved with this because, you know, it's all-encompassing. Our food and cultural diversity is part of society, and everybody cares about it.
And also, I know the mentors play a very important role in this project. How important is to pass the traditions, the food heritage, and which is the role of the mentors?
Yes, it's incredible because a lot of the young participants, they will talk about how important the older generation was and giving them inspiration, how it's the memories of cooking with their grandparents that they can bring to the table. And now they're innovating on that, which is really special because sometimes traditional dishes can be very big and stodgy, and, you know, it was for when people worked in the fields and worked down the mines. So, you know, having this creative reinterpretation of those dishes, holding on to the flavors, but presenting it in a different way for a contemporary audience, smaller portions, so that, you know, it's more palatable and comfortable, is really important. So it's nice to see how they're doing that and still using the same products.
It's interesting, and of course we're excited also to see the the dishes the young chef will bring to us, and we share with the juries. But also, I have a question, because you have, of course, an overview all over Europe. Do you think there is like the trend of going back to the roots and being more tied up to the tradition instead of moving toward the extreme innovation?
Yes, well, I mean, when my grandmother cooked when I was young, if green beans were in season, you would eat them morning, noon, and night for a month. You know, it was that way. But she had so many recipes to do with that vegetable. So, you know, you can have it in soups, you can have it in pies, you can have it with egg, you can have it. So, you know, there are many varieties, and I think it's time for us to move on.
It's time. We are so excited to meet the first finalist. I would like to welcome Kaja Novak from Slovenia. Slovenia was awarded as a European Region of Gastronomy in 2021, and welcome to Kaja.
V jutru najdem navdih in v jutru najdem upanje. Za vsakim shodom in jutranjo roso se tako rodi nova zgodba. Gozd šepeta svoje skrivnosti, je poln čarobnosti, miru. Je ves moj svet, ker se iz preteklosti učimo, ter svoje znanje delimo in krepimo v sedanjosti. Tako v mlinskem kolesu odmeva melodija časa in ljubezni. Ta melodija nas odnese nazaj v preteklost, v čas trdega, domačega dela. Kuhanje je preplet trenutkov, kjer se tradicija in inovacija spreobrneta v zgodbo, ki nas popelje v čase babičine kuhe. Vonj po sveže pečenem kruhu, po začimbah in domačih jedeh, napolni dom s toplino in spomini. Skrbno pridelane sestavine so srce vsake dobre jedi. Vsaka sestavina prinaša svoj del zgodbe. Od zemeljskih in maslenih not krompirja do sladkih in živahnih tonov korenja. Zato je okus potovanje, kjer se srečajo spomini in trenutki. Ročno delo je več kot le opravilo, je izkaz ljubezni in spoštovanja do naših prednikov, ki so svoje znanje in veščine predajali iz roda v rod. Kuhanje je umetnost, kjer se okusi, teksture in barve združujejo v harmonijo na krožniku. Kot umetniki, kuharji ustvarjamo svoje mojstrovine že pri izbiri najboljših sestavin. Vsak krožnik je platno, na katerem upodabljamo našo kulinarično zgodbo. Vsak grižljaj pa je nov odtenek, ki bogati našo izkušnjo. Pohorski kamen je moje platno, je temelj, na katerem začenjam graditi svojo zgodbo. Priprava vsake jedi je skrbno načrtovana in izvedena z ljubeznijo ter spoštovanjem do tradicije in narave. Vsak korak, od priprave do serviranja, je priložnost za izražanje ustvarjalnosti in poglobitev v izkušnjo okusov. Jaz sem Kaja in to je moj krožnik.
Welcome, Kaja Novak. Thank you so much for being here, and congratulations. Now you have that's your time to introduce and present your dish to the jury.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello again. Today my dish is innovative version of our Styria mushroom soup that you tried the day before, and it's called peekaboo mushroom soup because you never know if this is actually a mushroom soup if I didn't tell you. So these little cups are for the sauce that you pour it around the dish. In the center is actually buckwheat dumplings croquette with a spuma of mushroom soup, then parsley oil with buckwheat popcorn, pickled carrot, and powder of Slovenian pohorje trees, and powder of and powder of porcinis with pork cracklings, and on the side it's mushroom tartare with thyme and some bread. So the plate and the whole idea for this dish was actually what is around me in my home village, and this plate is actually handmade from our local producer. It's
looks great.
Emotionally about this, but it's specially made for me for today that I can present Slovenia with our rocks here, actually from our rivers, from ours. I'm very happy that I can present this dish for you today. It's a lot of my love in this and a lot of work, and I hope you like it. I bring Slovenia to you, so enjoy.
Thank you so much, Kaja. Thank you for your presentation, for your dish. I would like to invite the jury members to share their questions for Kaja.
Kaja, first of all, thank you for a really beautiful presentation. It's outstanding, so thank you very much. Could you elaborate on the use of buckwheat? You have it in a couple of the components in the dish. Have buckwheat a special place in your heart? Is it typical for the region?
Buckwheat is typical for the whole Slovenia. And we actually, in the neighbor village, have one family who they have own mill for buckwheat flour, And yeah, I think it's very important that you support your neighbors, your friends, and yeah, that's why I really like to prepare the dishes from buckwheat flour.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? Yes, please, Jose.
Okay. Hello, Kaja. Congratulations. Thank you for your work. You gave us a very clear view, even in your video and now in the presentation, about the context, the background of this dish. Now with this contemporary proposal, how do you transfer it to your restaurant, to clients?
Our restaurant is actually very homely. The people who come, the guests, are usually locals, and they come to us because they feel like home. And this is something, new step in our restaurant that I want to, that I want to include in our story. But I don't think that our guests are prepared for this. So we need a year or two for something like that. But of course, there in the future there will be a lot of projects where can I present myself with something like that and any other Slovenian traditional recipes in innovative way.
Thank you so much, Kaja. Thank you for sharing with us, with the jury, your presentation. If there are no more questions, I would like to invite Kaja to take her dish to the table, and I would like also to thank her again. Thank you so much.
Yes,
a big round of applause. A big round of applause for Kaja. We have supporters. Thank you all the supporters for Kaja. About this, it looks interesting.
Oh, an
Any
incredible
remarkable
transformation
note?
from yesterday as well, from something that was really traditional and something that, something that they eat every week probably, to this. This is very nice, very refined, lots of elements on the plate. Yeah, Slovenia has actually done very well in this competition over the years. So, I have high hopes. Kaja is very talented, very clear. And what I love about this plate is that so many foraged elements. Yeah. The mushrooms and the vegetables, and that's something very peculiar about Slovenia. So Slovenia European Region of Gastronomy 2021 really surprised the jury because of the farm to fork philosophy. So many restaurants have farms attached to them, or they're in the wilderness and they literally go out and pick the ingredients and take them in and cook them. So special, and I love the dish, and the story about the stone that comes from the river. You really feel Slovenia in this dish.
Yeah, the presentation is incredible.
Yeah.
She changed a lot the dish from yesterday, traditional dish, in this solution. It's really incredible. I like the solution, the stone from the river, and this is a history, and this history is so nice for our brain. I'm an expert of the brain, so sometime I will talk about the brain. But also there are a lot of information about the sustainability, the natural, and for example the moss everywhere, the green herbs everywhere is very nice, and the stone is incredible. Really, really, really nice.
It's really great because we really had the chance, being in Slovenia. I think it's great when food can, bring this feeling. I think we are now ready for the next finalist. We're gonna meet and welcome Paulina Nazarova from South Asian. Few more minutes, yes, few more minutes. So let's keep talking. It's interesting. We're gonna go into more details. As we say, it's interesting how through food you can travel. And right now we are in Slovenia, so food and also travel are really tied up. How important is that a region also can become a food destination?
Oh, I think it's it's very important for the people in the region, because one of our philosophies at IGCAT is less tourists, but that spend more. So, and that doesn't mean you're going for elite tourists. It just means that you're going for responsible tourists that really want to give something back to the community when they're there. And so it's really important to have very good restaurant experiences. It's incredibly important to give them opportunities to have all sorts of experiences related to food in the region, so they can really appreciate the culture and appreciate the food of that particular region, and also to work on food gifts from the region. So, you know, I think there's a lot of potential in Slovenia. They have an incredible space. And one more point here was that the stone came out warm, which is really, really important, because sometimes, you know, when you're serving, particularly in this environment, in a competition environment, they have a long walk from the kitchen to here. They may have to wait to come in, and so that's really important.
That's great, and I think we are ready for the next finalist. Now, finally, we can welcome Paulina Nazarova from South Asian, from Greece, which was awarded in 2019 as a European Region of Gastronomy. I would like to welcome Paulina, but first we're going to watch the video that will introduce her.
Everything is moving so fast. Everyone around me is rushing, racing. The kitchen feels like it's closing in on me. I taste it. Wrong, all wrong. I take notes, but there's no time. The pressure builds. My hand slips. The burn stings. I need to focus again, to remember why I fell in love with cooking in the first place. I glance at my notebook. Maybe there's something more to reconnect with. Now it's quiet. Just me. Silence at last. But my mind is restless, searching for something that feels real. I keep going, but each effort feels empty, like I'm reaching for something just out of sight. I need more. I need meaning. Something deeper. Something that truly matters to me. Wait. What is this? Where am I? This place. It's not my kitchen, but it feels like home. I feel warmth, a sense of belonging, something I've forgotten but always known. It's calling to me, reminding me why I began. I watch her, her movements. Her movements speak of history, of time, of life passed from one generation to the next. There's something sacred in this simplicity. Something I've been missing in all my rushing. This isn't just about food. It's about understanding where I come from and maybe where I'm meant to go. The notebook feels heavier now. I feel the warmth of tradition, a comforting embrace, a quiet joy. It's about more than the recipe. It's the love passed down. This connection reminds me of my roots and shapes who I am. I'm back in my kitchen. Something has changed. Everything feels clearer. Each ingredient holds a story. My hands move with purpose, each step echoing lessons learned, guiding me forward. I realize now, every movement brings me closer to who I am meant to be. My colleagues taste the dish. Their smiles reflect warmth. This dish is more than food. It's a bridge to the past, a journey. I feel it, the connection, the legacy. This is what I've been searching for.
And while we're waiting for Paulina Nazarova to come, we still have a few seconds. I would like also to talk to Diane and Vincenzo about mentoring. How important is mentoring?
The mentoring process is really important. And what is lovely about the next finalist is that she's being mentored by a young man who was a finalist in a previous edition. So therefore we're seeing young chefs mentoring young chefs. That's very, very special. I know that's the case in other regions as well, like in Menorca. So, you know, it's very special because they're the only ones that have that perspective of being a finalist. What does it mean? What was their experience? And they can really pass that on and give that to the next one to give them confidence and support in the future.
And we know that in Sicily, passing the tradition is important.
Yeah, it's important. It's important everywhere because the mentor is a model of life, I think. Not only about the job, but this kind of application in cuisine. And also ambassador. I think is the best ambassador for the young people and for the chef that is driving. And yes, we want to work also with the mentoring in here, and we wanted to define the best ambassador too, because I think it's a very important figure role in this case. Is also they have a very important responsibility in terms of communication, in terms to involve the young people, in terms of to become the model for them. So it's really important, I think.
And I think the young ambassadors really have a lot of responsibility on, you know, passing the tradition and keeping the tradition. Do you think we're losing the traditions in the food, or what needs to be done?
You know, what happens is that with globalization, we have so many more opportunities of different foods from all around the globe. You know, that's the problem. So if we eat more global foods, we're eating less local foods, and the local foods, then, you know, it doesn't become feasible for farmers or fishermen to produce them. We're also losing the knowledge. So, you know, there's not many school children that know what fish are in their sea or in their lake or in their river. And not many consumers who know the difference between a fish that's from the sea or a fish that's from a river. So, you know, there's a lot of work to be done in education about food because we've lost a lot of knowledge in the last 50 years.
That's great. I'm sure the schools also, they're doing a great job, and we are here in a hospitality and culinary school, and they promote a lot of, you know, food consciousness. I think we are ready to welcome Paulina Nazarova from South Asia and from Greece, and again Greece was awarded in 2019 as a European Region of Gastronomy, and I would like to remind, since we are in Sicily, that Sicily is going to be the European Region of Gastronomy in 2025, but now we're going to travel in Greece. Paulina Nazarova, she will present a very innovative dish, salmos. Welcome, Paulina. Welcome, Paulina. Thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation. Now it's your time to present this dish to the jury. Yes,
good evening, everyone. The inspiration for this plate, it comes from the restaurant who I'm working now. Because the restaurant innovate all the traditional recipes from your region. In the plate we will find a cured mackerel, spinach sivrasi, who is the spinach and onion slow cooked, white tarama, who is fish raw from the mackerel, sea fennel from a small produce red rose in pickled seaweed. At the bottom we'll find also a cream from plankton and spinach, who is aromatized with a smoked Rhodian olive oil. The tea we call heripedi. The translation is child is happy. We give it when the child is born. The dishes are made from sand sourced from the beaches of Rhodes, and all the vegetables come from local small producers in the village of Rhodes. I hope I made you remember my traditional dish from yesterday through innovation, because your goal is not it's to showcase not only the techniques, but also the idea from which it originated through each chef's innovation. Next to your plate, you will find containing a piece of paper with a poem and a bouquet of the herbs I used to make your tea. You can keep it and make your tea at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paulina Nazarova from South Asia. Thank you for your presentation. And now I would like to invite the jury members to go ahead if they have any question.
You are saying that this dish is used in very special occasions, isn't it?
Sorry?
This dish.
Yes.
Is it daily basics dish, or is it extraordinary, like
It's
marking a special moment?
no, it's
Every day?
Yes,
Every day.
food, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Any few more questions from the jury members? If not, we will we'll go ahead and we'll thank Paulina Nazarova for this beautiful presentation. Thank you so much. I would like to invite you to take your dish to the table, and thank you so much for your presentation. Everything looks great, and really, before we went to Slovenia, now here we are in South Asia and in Greece, and we can really feel the vibe of Greece. It's really amazing. They're working a lot on creativity and by presenting these innovative dishes. What do you think?
Spectacular flavors, really, really delicious. The fish is beautiful. The arrangement is great. The dish, the presentation is incredible, and the tea complements it perfectly. I wasn't expecting tea, but it's full of herb flavors and really complements the dish as well. And this is a very nice touch to have a little gift with a poem. Can I read it?
Sure, please.
Okay, Salmas. So, if you deconstruct Greece, in the end, you will see that remains an olive tree, a vineyard, and a ship, which means with just as much, you can rebuild everything. So that's very nice, and a nice touch to have the gift to take home. Of course, that's not going to be part of the competition, but the dish is spectacular, no?
Yeah. It's spectacular. Also, it's interesting. We always talk about wine, food and wine pairing, and I know here we are. She, tried also. She was doing the pairing with the tea. That's very unique, but it's not easy. Professor Russo studies the neuromarketing. He's a professor in neuromarketing. But he focuses a lot on wine. But it's interesting the pairing with the tea
for food and wine and tea. And it's a very great solution because with this tea, so rich of flavor, she wanted to improve our perception of the flavor of the dish, the recipe. There is a system in our brain, the name is super addictivity. When we have two different stimuli that go in the same direction, we can improve the perception of the different sense. So in this case, we improve in a very strong way the perception of flavor. It's a very, very nice solution.
Super interesting. We will talk more later about the feeling and the pairing, of course, with food. Now we are ready to announce the next finalist. She's Sicilian, Rosalia Grasso, who also was a student. She was a student in this institute, FALCONE in Giarre. I would like to welcome her, and we're going to see also a video which will introduce her. And again, Sicily is going to be the European Region of Gastronomy in 2025. Welcome, Rosalia.
fuori lo fanno, lo sento cacchiana lento.
Questa è una rete particolare praticamente, solo per le acciughe. Questa rete qua, non è che io ti posso spiegare tanto, perché questa è una rete che fanno la pesca a pisciotta, solo la lici, ci fanno pure le sarde praticamente, però che succede? Questo poi si accende un lume, sai, sulla rete e tu ci passi, con la lampadina passi sopra e la lice camminano e vanno nella rete. E poi loro la tolgono, però il sangue rimane nelle acciughe. Per questo le alici di minai sono più saporite, e poi lo mettere sotto sale, anche migliore, è tutta una alice particolare.
Sassi picchi, cauro cambica che mi sa che mi suri lo sciate lento. Solo lo canto cantami fuori a rilato e poi tornare un momento lento. Torni quando scura, shadow can be poi mi consuma e tu parla.
That's why I, Rosalia Grasso, am proud to have been able to make my passion for cooking my profession. I'm only at the beginning of my journey, in which I have met various national and European gastronomic realities, and I can't wait to progress on this path that I hope will lead me to become a chef capable of filling her creations with passion.
We're looking forward to meet Rosalia Grasso soon. She's coming soon. She's of course Sicilian biased, so I'm from Sicily, and she was also a student here in Giarre, this Hospitality Institute, and Sicily again will be in this upcoming year. The European Region of Gastronomy was awarded in 2025. What's going on? What's going to happen?
So we are working in order to create a different program in different parts of Sicily. Every event must to have the logo of European Region of Gastronomy, but I think it's very important to create in every event some opportunity to discuss about the pillars of the big book. We wanted to promote discussion about the tradition, about the biodiversity, about the sustainability, about the involvement of the young people and the student in this strategy. And I want to say thank you to Professor Insanguine for your hospitality, for the great, amazing support today.
Diane,
Indeed.
it's not your first time in Sicily, I know.
No,
What do you
it's not.
like about this island?
Oh, it's an incredible island, and every time I come back, I discover new gastronomic delights. It's amazing, and I think there's an important point here as well that we should mention: is this is Sicily's first time in the competition, and you're always at a disadvantage when it's your first time because you're coming in and the learning, and you don't have the finalist from the previous editions to mentor. But I have to say, there's been a spectacular job being done here at the school. The service and the hospitality of the school is excellent. So I have strong hopes for Rosalia.
I'm sure she will do great as well as with the other finalists. And Sicily, of course. So you think, we have a question for Vincenzo Russo, is following more the innovation trend or is going back to the tradition?
I think it is very important to have awareness about the potentiality of the innovation. But it's important also to share knowledge about the tradition. We want to start from the tradition to go a little bit more in the future. But I think it's very important to respect the tradition. Sometimes with the influence of global food, the influence of marketing of big industries, the influence of some program in TV, we can lose everything about our tradition. So it's very important to start from the tradition, to understand the meaning, the importance of tradition in order to create with a very good prospect the ideas, the future, the innovative recipe. But we need to start, we need to preserve the tradition.
And you mentioned like some food program, like I would say MasterChef. Do you think, Diane, they still have a big influence on the young chef or on the young students, or these kind of programs are losing their appeal?
No, I don't think they're losing their appeal at all. I think cooking has become back in fashion thanks to big programs like MasterChef, and that's really great because it's a fantastic opportunity for us to put food back on the agenda.
And I think we are ready. Rosalia is coming. Let's welcome Rosalia Grasso again from Sicily. Their dish, interesting flavors of omensi. Welcome, Rosalia. Welcome, Rosalia, and thank you. Your presentation looks great, and now it's your time to introduce your dish to the jury.
Yes, I have to finish the dish because this dish has to be finished in front of the customers with a wild fennel essence.
Oh, Rosalia, it's your. You can use the microphone.
Oh, yes. Good morning, everyone. The recipe I'm presenting to you today is Flavors of Omensi, which is my reinterpretation of Mascolinità Maggia, cacipodata e verdura maritata. At the base of this plate, there are marinated mascolinis with a Giarre yellow potato rosti. And on top of the rosti, there are marinated mascolinis fillets, sweet and sour red onions petals, and caulicedda stops. The warm part of this dish is a side in the copper pot where you can find Castro Filippo Spallina onions foam with at the base miso onions julienne. At the top of the foam I spread a little bit of wild fennel powder. The choice to introduce the Giarre's yellow potato in this dish is related to cultural and traditional reasons, but also to nutritional reasons, because we bring the vegetable part up to the 50% and we provide the 25% of carbs. Also, the potatoes always played an important role in Sicilian culture and in its economic field, being one of the major sources of income for the Sicilian peasant households. In addition, the Giarre's yellow potato is about to join the slow food products, Sicilian slow food products, which gives an additional value to the dish. Like so, with the caulicedda stops, with the wild fennel, with the potatoes and the Castro Filippo Spallina onions, and the carbs provided by the potatoes, and the high protein values, high biological value proteins provided by the mascolinis. Flavors of omensi transform a traditional dish in a single course which can be used like a starter. The artist I was inspired by is a Sicilian singer and songwriter who works also in other professions as journalist and stylist, having earned a degree in styling. Electra Nicotra. The thing that struck me the most about this artist is the fact that she manages to exercise different art forms with the same drive and passion. A little bit like me, who decided to be interested aside the pastry also in cooking. And Electra is one of the young artists in Italy who desires to actualize and recall the regional traditions. In fact, in her project, in her music, she uses traditional instruments and contemporary sounds which blend naturally, like, I hope, the techniques and ingredients in my dish. In her project, Electra Nicotra also is always seeking for the best sounds, like a chef who is always researching for the balance in his creation, culinary creation.
Thank you so much, Rosa. I need to stop you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you, but I think we don't have a lot of time. It looks great and amazing. Thank you for your knowledge, also for mentioning arts and food and the artist Electra who inspired you. I would like to invite the jury members for some question and so they can have time for you. Thank you. Please, just ask.
Rosalia, thank you for your presentation. Congratulations for your work. Before the technical questions for my colleagues, I want to ask you, you have, I understood at least that you have a strong emotional relation with the traditional dish. You now presented us the new dish and how you were inspired by others. The artists, etc. But can you explain us what part of you now is there in this dish? That strong emotional relation is still on this innovative dish, and why?
Yes, because I am in a family where the alimentation is very important, and since child, my mother and my father always tried to give us an important alimentation. So this dish brings to mind memories of my childhood when my mother is always saying, Sarah, you have to eat everything, you have to eat fish, you have to eat vegetables, and she tried to transform the vegetables and the food I didn't very like in something I would like and I will eat. I love the potatoes.
Thank you so much, Rosalia. It looks great, and thank you for your amazing presentation. I would like to invite you to take your dish to the table, and again, thank you so much. A round of applause for Rosalia. We will have more time to talk more about Sicily, because there's so much to tell and to talk about. I'm sure I will have time with my guest, and of course we will go into more details about Sicily. But now I think we are ready to announce the next finalist, who is from Malta. So from one island to another one, from Sicily to Gozo. Again, Malta was awarded as a European Region of Gastronomy in 2026, and I would like to welcome, before we're gonna also watch the video, Giulia Cassano.
I'm Giulia Cassano, I'm 18 years old, and I've been studying at ITS in Malta for 3 years now. I'm currently studying diploma in food preparations and productions operations. What I've prepared for you today, it's a creative innovation dish of the traditional rabbit in Malta, which is usually cooked in a Sunday lunch. So we have a saddle of rabbit, a rabbit porchetta stuffed with rabbit meat and some herbs which we found in Malta, which they are called satar and clean. And they are commonly used in Maltese kitchens. Then with the boned rabbit, we use the offals to make the tart with a short crust pastry. We fill the tart with the offals and gozo cheese. And we sprinkled on top some sesame seeds. Gozo cheese, it's a fermented goat cheese, which is made with a very traditional old way. Then we have some beetroot gel, which is very seasonal currently, and it gives the sweetness to the plate. We use the seasonal vegetables such as the carrots, which are very commonly used as an accompaniment for the traditional rabbit. In this case, we converted the carrots in a puree and in a tui. In the tui, I put a dukkha, which is a crumble made with hazelnut, sesame seeds, black sesame seeds, poppy seeds, and some chilies and paprika.
Let's welcome Giulia Cassano from Gozo, from Malta, who is coming soon. She was ready, so she must be here like just in few seconds. Welcome, Giulia. The jury is excited to taste your dish. A round of applause for Giulia Cassano. Welcome, Giulia. Now it's your turn to share your dish and your presentation with the jury members.
Good afternoon, judges. I'm Giulia Cassano, and today I'm presenting to you a rabbit porchetta, which is stuffed with the rabbit meat. As an accompaniment, I made a tartlet stuffed with the offals and some seasonal vegetables. And then we have the carib reduction, which you have to pour it in this way. Okay. To make this dish, I was inspired by my secondary art teacher, Mark Sagona, who paints abstract art, and the use of warm colors in his art has inspired me to produce a colorful dish, and that everyone can associate his abstract art to something close to his heart. Since I wanted to be as sustainable as possible, and since I'm very familiar with porchetta, since I'm half Italian, I gave a twist to the traditional fried rabbit. And to make this manifestation sustainable, yesterday I have used the legs of the rabbit to make the traditional dish. And for today, I use the shoulders meat to stuff the saddle. As for the tartlets, I fill them with the offals, and from the bones, I made a stock, which afterwards I reduced it with a carib syrup from Gozo. The carib syrup in Gozo is traditionally used medicinally to relieve cough. And the carib molasses is also high in natural sugars and dietary fibers, which aids digestion. Inside the rabbit, the stuffing, I added the nettle, which contains many nutrients to lower blood pressure and relieves high fever. Rabbit is a lean white meat, which has an excellent source of vitamins B and iron. To conclude, unfortunately, due to climate change and because of climate change, in Malta this year we had a drought, and the first rain only appeared 15 days ago, and I had to use a local asparagus instead of the wild one.
Thank you so much, Giulia Cassano. Thank you for your presentation. And now it's time for the jury to ask some questions.
Yeah, I just have a question about the use of the meat. You've used a lot of the offal. Can you explain what part of the animal have been used in this preparation, and did you use some of the leftovers from yesterday's, or can you explain, is there anything left from the rabbit? Did you cook a stock on the bones? And
just the bones from today, because I deboned the meat shoulders, so there's only the bones of the rabbit of today, because then afterwards I probably make a stock at home.
Yeah, Perfect. But otherwise, you used the offal
I
and
use
all
the offals as
cups
well
of
to
the-
fill the tartlet.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any more questions for Giulia Cassano from the jury?
Thank you.
If not, I would like to thank Giulia Cassano. Thank you so much for your dish and for sharing your stories with us and with the jury. Thank you and good luck with everything. I would like to invite you to take the dish to the table and we have still few minutes until the next. Give her a round of applause to Giulia. Thank you so much. She mentioned a very interesting topic, climate change. Sicily experienced, as other parts of the world, a big drought last summer, and how the food has been impacted by the climate change and what the food world can do to, manage the consequences from the climate change.
When we first started out on this journey with IGCAT, it wasn't the highest point on our agenda, sustainability. But in the last 14 years, we've realized that actually our mission is very much connected to also managing this issue of climate change, because I don't think people realize just how much the food choices that they make affect the climate. From everything, from the emissions of transporting foods over many distances, to the erosion of soil through pesticides and artificial fertilizers. So there's a lot to be done to raise awareness and consciousness about that issue. So it's really wonderful to see a young chef really thinking about that, especially because she's just so recently been affected by it. And I have to say, here in Sicily, you also were affected. In this particular village, I think most are really our condolences to the people of Giarre for their losses, and we really are very sorry about that. But it makes our mission even more important now. And I have to say, both young chefs, both from Gozo and Sicily, it's their first time also for Gozo. I think, amazing talent coming out from these regions. So, congratulations, Sicily. And congratulations,
It's
Gozo.
the identity of the island, maybe that brings, a strong, resilience and talent. We mentioned, and Diane mentioned that Sicily experienced, a big drought this summer, and of course, it's one of the consequences of climate change. What we can do, what people as a consumer, as producer, we can do to, raise awareness, but also to, manage the consequences.
It's not so easy because
it's a political question. I know that, but
we are working in order to discuss about this topic, the climate change resiliency, in Sicily for the next year, sharing our idea with the other country. For example, Catalonia. Catalonia is a world region for gastronomy for 2025. They have the same problem like in Sicily. So we wanted to create a conference in order to share some ideas, some projects, and some best practice about this problem. And I think, of course, it's very important to improve the awareness of the people. But I want to say one thing about the dishes, because I was so surprised that because the last two chefs, Giulia and Sara, they used some inspiration from the art. And this is really, really the pillar of IGCAT. Sara said, there is this person, this artist, and she created a very interesting dish. The same thing, Giulia. So I think it's very important to create this connection, art, culture, and food. It is a very interesting aspect.
It's interesting because before the chef usually were inspired by grandmothers, but also I'm I'm sure they still are, but it's interesting how these young chefs are inspired by arts. We think is also, how food and art are, embracing each other.
And they're inspired by the products that they have. So, I love the fact that, she's using the cheese from the local cheese producers. It's a typical cheese from Gozo, and really they're taking, really investing a lot of detail into the dishes and in terms of thinking what is so typical from my region and how can I bring it out in the dish. Very nice because
and so many also memories. They are bringing up so many, memories from their childhood, because also food is about the memory. Do you have any special, memories to share with us about food? I know this is a personal question, but if there is like a, dish that particularly, takes you back to your childhood.
Well, I mean, there are so many. We need to do the announcement now.
Yes,
So
let's. We are ready for the announcement. Timing is important. The competition. I'm aware of that. Now there is next finalist is the only man representative, because they are, as we said, they are all women. Oscar Roca from Menorca, from Spain, and Oscar Roca will come soon, and we will see the video who will introduce him. And let's welcome Oscar Roca.
Cuando todo lo que te rodea es caos, la belleza se vuelve invisible, aunque esté justo frente a ti. Y así fue. Nací en una isla pequeña, pero con una riqueza cultural y gastronómica enorme. Una isla con amaneceres mágicos y un amor por la tierra especial. Pero todo esto fue invisible para mí durante muchos años. Del entorno del que vengo, ser lo que soy a día de hoy no era una opción. Y realmente nunca lo fue. La vida me lanzó a la cocina con 16 años como única salida. Lo que no sabía entonces es que este oficio, más allá de ser un trabajo, me transformaría. Que pasaría de ganarme la vida en la cocina a sentirme vivo cocinando. Y, sin darme cuenta, lo invisible dejó de serlo. La cocina me abrió los ojos para descubrir la magia de mi propia tierra, Menorca. ¿Cómo puede haber tanta riqueza gastronómica en este cachito de tierra en medio del Mediterráneo? Cada ingrediente que utilizo cuenta una historia. Los huevos de gallina menorquina, en peligro de extinción. Las ovejas de raza menorquina, únicas en el mundo. O las verduras ecológicas del huerto de Pau, como las alcachofas autóctonas. Son mucho más que alimentos, son parte de nuestra cultura, y preservarlas es preservar nuestra identidad. Para mí, la cocina se ha convertido en la forma más real y más pura con la que puedo expresar amor y respeto. Soy Oscar Roca y quiero que cuando alguien pruebe mi plato no solo sienta mi historia, sino sienta la cultura y la esencia de mi tierra, Menorca.
And let's welcome Oscar Roca from Menorca, which was awarded as a European Region of Gastronomy in 2022. And today Oscar will present and will share with us, with the jury member, an innovative version of Panadera de Be. It's a dish, and we are excited to welcome him. He's coming, they're all excited, of course, and the timing, as we said before, is very important. Here he is. Let's welcome Oscar Roca. Welcome, Oscar. Thank you so much, Oscar, for being here.
Thank you.
Introduce your dish to the jury member, and now it's your time.
Good morning, buon dia e buongiorno a tutti. Comincio in italiano ringraziando alla Sicilia per essere qui. With this dish, we aim to highlight the importance of reintroducing forgotten ingredients, such as bread and the white turnip, and reclaim their role in the dish. We also seek to highlight the value of using often discarded bones. That's why I'm using the same discarding bones from yesterday. Promoting conscious cooking and respect for making the most every ingredient. The vegetables have been confited, cooked in papillote or served raw to maintain their creaminess and texture. Some have been enriched with spices to honor the legacy left by the merchants. We wanted to honor both the origin and the name of the dish by using the bread to call the egg, which serves as the main source of protein, reflecting its roots and history. This dish is made with native local varieties that are certificate organic, including Menorcan lamb of native breed and Menorcan hen eggs, a native species that is endangered. In addition, we have present the oldest certification known, the yolk. The sprouts and flowers are characteristic of from Menorcan fields, reading out the feeling and flavor of our island in Mediterranean. Very important to keep, for use it very important to keep the name to preserve the identity of the recipe. With the wine, I have chosen, okay. And the wine, I had chosen the Gran Clos from Santa Catalina, a white wine aged for 6 months in barrels, which defines character. The plate has been made by a ceramic artisan from Sfanghetti. It represents the essence and simplicity of Menorca. The green represents the grazing fields, which nourishes the mothers. And white symbolizes milk, the nourishes of the baby lambs. Okay. And I would like to give you a very special gift, a notebook we have made back in Menorca, so that you can always have our recipe at hand. This notebook and bookmark are crafted from 100% Menorca sheep wool, thanks to expertise of Enara, the unique separatist in Menorca. The illustrations and binding from the notebook and my jacket were created by Silvia Vivot, a master artisan, who, together with my mentor, brought this unique project. Now you are going to taste Menorca, simplicity, austerity, and flavor.
Thank you so much, Oscar, for your presentation and for your dish. Looks great. I would like to invite the jury to ask Frida Jensen. Go ahead.
Hi,
Thank
Oscar.
you.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for the dish and for the traditional dish yesterday. I have a question for you about sustainability. So
Yeah.
what are your common approach to sustainability, not just in this competition, but also at home?
Yeah. And in a school, a really conscious from sustainability cooking, and yesterday and today represent a profitment of only ingredient.
It's great. A few more questions for Oscar. Yes, Jose.
Hello,
Thank you.
Oscar. Thank you for your work. Yes, now I think the world and the Europe are ready for your dish, new dish. Is Menorca or Menorcans
Yes.
ready for it? Because you propose a new dish, an innovative dish from a very traditional recipe. How are you going to convince them?
I don't understand all question. And
How are we going to promote your dish?
Okay. Thank you. I promote the consume of vegetables and recipe more saludable, healthy. Thank you. Yes, more healthy, and the importance of the varieties, local varieties. The young chef, we have a really responsibility with our beard.
Healthier, you mean with less fat than the traditional?
Yes, it's bones, only bones. Bones and vegetables and the egg. The egg is perfect.
Thank you so much. Does anybody else have a question for Oscar? If not, I would like to thank you, Oscar. Give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Oscar Roca from Menorca. And Spain plays a big role in the food and gastronomy scene. Of course, we have 2 finalists from Spain, and Spain was also, famous in the last year for the kind of avant-garde cuisine. Do you have a note about the food scene in Spain, if it's changing?
Well, it's always been at the forefront in gastronomy. It's a place where there's such variety, very big country. But I'd like to concentrate on the Balearic Islands and how they are really doing things in a very special way, particularly in Menorca, because they have really understood the importance of protecting endangered species that are autochthonous to the island. So it was very noticeable in his video that he talks about 3 or 4 varieties and 2 that would be extinct if we don't resuscitate them and start using them. Menorca, when it was European Region of Gastronomy in 2022, put a great emphasis also on protecting the red cow variety, typical of Menorca, and we're really glad that's off the extinction list now because they're using the milk from that in the cheeses again. So you can really see how what we're doing here is having an effect on the way people understand the importance of the food that they eat. And so I love that Oscar really put an emphasis on that, from the eggs to the type of the meat to the type of the plants that he's using. So really very important that he did that.
And Professor Vincenzo Russo, do you have a remarkable note about this
it's
dish?
very interesting. The imaging of the dish is very nice. But I want to talk about this solution, because it's very nice. Because the effect of the touch is so important for our brain. And here you can see how it's possible to prepare the same dish and all information about the ingredients. And we know that there is a very specific autochthonal sheep and
so many details,
and the raw of the papers is so nice, because with this experience you can do a travel in the past. It's a very nice solution. Maybe it's a little expensive, but it's very nice. And here you can see the number of how many menu in this they produce, and it's very nice solution.
Thank you so much. We are ready for the next finalists. We will not go that far. We still will be in Spain, in Catalonia. And let's welcome Marta Minoves from Catalonia, which will be World Gastronomic Region in 2025. Welcome, Marta Minoves.
És fascinant com un aroma et pot fer reviure emocions passades. Com et pot traslladar els teus records, com els de l'àvia cuinant les seves patates emmascarades. Un plat tradicional de la cuina catalana de muntanya que els pagesos elaboraven amb el que tenien a l'abast, després de dies i dies de feina constant. Puc sentir perfectament com si fos ara el perfum de la patata recent collida. Aquella olor a camp tan intensa que m'aboca les jornades de cuina amb l'àvia, de la que vaig aprendre tantes coses. Sempre que torno a casa, al Berguedà m'envaeix aquesta sensació de retrobar les essències que aquesta terra de contrastos ens ha ofert de forma tan generosa. La natura majestuosa que s'alça davant nostre i ens proporciona allò que ens és tan vital. O la història i cultura mil·lenària que ens ha deixat la seva empremta per tot el territori. O les festes ancestrals que han esculpit la nostra identitat. I, com no, la gastronomia rica i variada que ens ha anat transmetent i perfeccionant de generació en generació. Aquest és el camí que he escollit. Reinterpretar un plat que he tastat tantes vegades quan era petita i que, tal com va fer la meva àvia abans, ara vull actualitzar sent fidel a la cuina d'aprofitament i establint un equilibri perfecte entre els vegetals i la proteïna. Amb aquest plat vull representar la meva regió, perquè Catalunya és una terra de cultura, esforç i feina ben feta. És aspirar a l'excel·lència i voler arribar lluny. És comprendre el camp, el mar i els ramats. És pagesia, artesania i proximitat. És reunir en pocs quilòmetres una de les biodiversitats més grans d'Europa. Catalunya és compartir i celebrar les alegries en família i oferir amb hospitalitat el millor de casa nostra. És respectar i compartir les tradicions, gaudir d'allò que ens donen la terra i el mar. És tenir productors experts i cuiners que són llegenda. És una cuina única, reconeguda arreu del món, de la qual soc hereva. Soc la Marta Minoves, representant de Catalunya a la final d'European Young Chef Award 2025, i us presento el meu plat, patates emmascarades. Un homenatge al saber fer dels que ens han precedit.
Let's welcome Marta Minoves from Catalonia. Welcome, Marta. Thank you so much for being here. Now it's your time to present your dish to the jury.
Thank you. Hello. As I said yesterday, my name is Marta Minoves Tor, and I'm from the region of Catalonia, but in the area of Berguedà. One of the important things that I have worked in this dish is the respect. The respect for the producers, the respect for the ingredient, and the respect for myself, but also the respect for you. That's why I ask you to start eating my plate, because it's the reason why you're gonna taste the real plate, because if it's cold, it's not gonna be the same. I'm here to present patatas emmascaradas in a good version. I made a meal filler with black sausages and potatoes from Gozul, and if you see in the side, you can see the sauce, which is made with pork bones, but also with all the vegetables, trimmings that I used during all the working produce in the kitchen. This is why I can say that I used the total nutrients of the ingredients. Also, you can see a cracker, which is made of the pork skin, and I added an autochthonous corn, which is called blat de moros cairat. Thank you, Maria, for giving me that. And also, the side, you will see alioli queens, which is really really Catalan side. And also on the top, you will find a pickled winter cabbage. Okay, so now you can see that there's one glass of wine in front of you. This is because it's the smell of a farmhouse in Catalonia. So I want you to go in that farmhouse and smell it. Yes. I'm connecting you to the Fondator, my grandmother's old restaurant. Also, the dish that you have in front of you, it's the dish, but the mold was the dish that you had yesterday on the table. This is a new version made of an artisan Catalan called Luis Maivega. So they made it by their hands. Also, this plate, it's a philosophy of from nose to tail eating. Also, I'm here to honor these traditions and to embracing our loved region of Catalonia. And thank you very much for being here and tasting my plate, but also thank you to everyone that really helped me to get here. And that's what I can share, a piece of Catalonia, but also I can share a taste of who we are, and I can bring it and how we can bring this to the future. So thank you very much, and this is my plate.
And thank you so much, Marta Minoves from Catalonia. Thank you for sharing with us, with the jury members, your stories and your dish. And now it's time for the jury to ask us some questions.
Thank you, Marta, for a beautiful presentation. I must say I almost felt Catalan myself for a minute here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you, but can you explain a bit more about what you put in the wine glass?
Yeah, this is called sagy. Sagy, it's a fat grass from the pork. So they rancid it, and then we used to put it in our meals, especially in escudella, which is the typical soup from Catalonia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Few more questions for Marta. If not, I would like to thank again Marta Minoves. Wish her good luck and thank you for your presentation and your innovative dish. Give Marta a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you. And can I say something?
Sure, please go ahead.
The music that was you were hearing, it was typical music from my town called Berga. So this was part of the whole sensory part of the dish. So thank you very much.
And thank you so much again. Thank you so much, Marta. You can take your dish to the table, and now let's go back and into the discussion. It's interesting. What do you think about this dish?
Oh, spectacular dish, great flavors. But, one of the things that is so impressive is that this, emphasis now on sensory experience. So we heard the music, we were taken to the place, we have the smell captured in a glass, and then you taste the dish. And it's a different experience, and I know you will add to that because this is really important. That this whole idea of experience is growing in importance in gastronomy. So you don't just want to go and eat in a traditional way, but you want to have an experience, and that's what it's all about. And really spectacular.
As Diane say and mentioned, food is not just simply eating, but it's now more and more, and now Professor Vincenzo Russo will tell us more, if it's turning into more experiencing, if the chefs are emphasizing on that.
Yeah, Marta is very expert in gastrophysics because she uses the different senses and, for example, music. And we know that if we drink or eat something with high frequency background music, we have the perception more sweet of the food, completely different than the same food that we eat with the low frequency background music. So and also the smell can influence. We studied the senses in a separate way until 10 years ago. Now we know that every sense can influence the other one. So it's very important to have a good knowledge about the influence of different senses in order to create a very good experience. And gastrophysics is the new discipline that link the taste and the effect of the other stimuli, like the lights, the color, the smell, the music, and so on. It's important knowledge for the restaurant, because when you arrive in a restaurant with a very strong white lights, like an hospital, you can eat the best dish, but it's bad in your life.
It's interesting also as communication in the food is changing. And how do you think Diane is changing?
Yeah, it's about ambience as well. You create the ambience for the dish. And I mean, you know yourselves, if you go to a place and you have a great ambience, a great experience, but maybe the food wasn't the greatest, you will still go back because you'll think, there might be something else on the menu that would be more agreeable for me. But if you have a bad experience in the front of house, either the service or the ambience or the experience, you're less likely to go back, even if the food was great. So this front of house experience is absolutely important, and it's why we ask the young chefs to bring in the storytelling element, because it's often the stories that transmit the emotions. But now, I mean, I'm blown away this year because, with Menorca we had the touch, and that's with Marta we had the smell and the sound. So I think this is going to be a new element coming into the competition in the future.
Absolutely, and this is going to impact, as we said before, also the communication. Chefs themselves are also communicating the food in a different way through the experience. And we'll go back to this topic later, because now it's time and we're getting to the end, so it's getting very exciting. We have Yasmin Kinnunen from Saima, Finland, which is the current European Region of Gastronomy, and Yasmin is also sharing with us and with the jury member her dish. She's coming soon, but before we're gonna watch the video about Yasmin Kinnunen. Let's welcome Yasmin.
Ruoka merkitsee minulle rakkautta. Se palauttaa minut lapsuuteni mummolaan, missä ruoka ei täyttänyt ainoastaan mahaa, vaan myös sydämen. Missä yhdessä keräsimme raaka-aineet ja valmistimme ruoan pöytään. Kalastimme Saimaan upeissa vesissä, missä sai nähdä myös uhanalaisia saimaannorppia. Marjastimme ja sienestimme alueen valtavissa metsissä. Keräsimme kasvikset omalta kasvimaalta ja ukki metsästi lihan pöytään. Ruoka on aina ollut meille yhteinen asia. Perinteet ovat minulle tärkeitä. Tahdon jatkaa niitä myös seuraaville sukupolville. Suomessa on aina arvostettu luontoa. Minulle on tärkeää, että raaka-aineet tulevat läheltä. Ruoasta voi maistaa sen, että hirvi on saanut elää onnellisen vapaan elämän syöden puhtaita luonnon raaka-aineita. Sienet ovat saaneet ravinteensa rikkaasta Saimaan maaperästä ja puolukoissa maistuu luonnonvoima. Syksyllä luonto puhkeaa upeaan väriloistoon, mistä saan valtavasti inspiraatiota kokkaamiseen. Luonto on silloin kauneimmillaan. Mummolassa opin ruoanlaitosta, perinteistä, luonnosta, mutta ennen kaikkea rakastuin ruoanlaittoon. Kun olimme viettäneet päivän ulkona ja palasimme sisälle, mummo oli kokannut hirvenlihapulliaan ja sen tuoksu täytti koko talon. Se maku palauttaa minut aina mummolaan ja täyttää lämmöllä. Siellä opin, että rakkaudella tehty ruoka maistuu aina paremmalle. Suurin inspiraation lähteeni on isovanhempani. Heitä voin kiittää kaikesta siitä, mitä olen oppinut. Minulle merkitsee todella paljon, että saan tarjoilla tätä lapsuuteni rakasta annasta perheelleni mummoni perinteisiltä lautasilta. Annosta, joka on inspiraation lähteeni myös tähän kilpailuun. Rakkauden osoituksena juurilleni.
Yasmin Karkainen, welcome Yasmin from Saima, from Finland. Thank you, Yasmin, for being here. Now it's your turn to share your dish with the jury.
This is an innovation version of my traditional recipe. This dish is tribute to my family's traditions. We have been preserved for decades and passed down from my grandmother to my mother. I continue to honor this tradition in a new way. I wanted to make this dish so that is flavored with my love. In my grandparents' house, I learned about cooking, traditionals, and nature, but most importantly, I fell in love with cooking. The aroma of my grandmother's smooth meatballs filling the house was unforgettable. That beautiful taste of nature always brings me back to my grandmother's house and fills me with warmth. I learned that food made with love always tastes best. I will serve you today wild moose tenderloin so sweet with forest berry sauce. Made from berries I forget myself. Douches made from organically grown local vegetables. Pickled chanterelles and sauteed porcini mushrooms, which I also picked myself. Lichen seasoned with a wild blueberry powder. The moose wears antlers as its crown. This dish has its crown as well and is made with Jerusalem artichoke seasoned with lingonberry powder. I paired this dish with local smoked dark lager. Bon appetit!
Thank you so much, Yasmin Karkainen from Saima, Finland. Now, I would like to invite the jury to go ahead with some questions. Martina Caruso, please.
Se ha usato gli stessi tagli dell'animale da ieri ad oggi il piatto.
If you use, she's asking if you use the same cut as yesterday of the animal. Yes. Few more questions. Jose?
Yes. Hello, Jasmine. Thank you. And congratulations for your work and presentation. Well, I'm sorry about this question. It's almost like asking you if you like your mother or father best. You said this yesterday that you choose the grandman's moose meatballs, the traditional dish, because you like it. That's as simple as that. And now, which for you, what from these two plates, which are your preferable plate now?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
Was it the traditional or the innovative?
I want the traditional.
Traditional?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you have any question for Yasmin, I would like to thank Yasmin for being here, and I will ask to give her a round of applause. Thank you, Yasmin Karkainen from Saima, Finland. And now let's talk about this dish.
And
it's
Saima.
So much tradition. And Saima, again, an interesting region. There is, of course, we talk about Spain, how Spain played a key role in the food scene, but also the Scandinavian, with the Scandinavian manifesto. They are very innovative, as we saw in the last years, and they're bringing tradition, also the foraging, and a lot of creation, but also a lot of tradition. What about this dish?
Well, an amazing dish, beautiful flavors, and very different flavors, which is not surprising, of course. We're talking about far north of Europe, and we're here in southern Europe. So we have the differences are quite palpable in everything. The varieties of fruits that you can find, the varieties of the mushrooms and the flavor of the mushroom that really comes out there, and the meat delicious. Very talented young chef. I'm really pleased that she's here because Saima is European Region of Gastronomy this year, European Region of Gastronomy 2024. Congratulations, Saima.
Congratulations, Saima. We're supporters from Saima.
And it was wonderful to be in Saima this year with the platform of all of the European Regions of Gastronomy. And we traveled all around the lake of Saima. And it was an amazing experience. To taste all the products. We actually went foraging for ourselves, and we picked the mushrooms, and we went foraging for the berries, and we had this whole sensory experience. So this plate has taken me back to Saima completely, because it's the memory of that, and I think that's what a visitor wants. Yep. No, when they come back from a place. And if they want to, the food that they take from that place is the memory of that place. And, I can imagine that this dish will be a hit in Saima. Everybody will want to taste it. But I think it's very true to Saima.
We should definitely go to visit Saima. And speaking of diversity, let's talk about Sicily, which has a lot to offer. So when it comes to, of course, diversity and the history, and Sicily, again, will be the European Region of Gastronomy next year. What do you think Sicily can share in terms of, history and diversity, which is I don't want to say which is the most representative dish, because I know there are so many.
It's
impossible. But for those who don't know Sicily, which are the two dishes that mostly represent this island?
It's a very difficult question, because I worked a lot for the bid books, and the first draft of the bid book was 180 pages, and I said no, only 90. Okay, with the pictures. So it was so difficult to cut many products, arancina.
Arancino. Oh, so we know there's a big, it's controversial. West
Arancino. Anyway, I'm from Palermo. For me, it's arancino. I'm sorry. No, anyway, there is some very iconic dishes, like pasta con le sarde, pasta con le sarde a mare. Do you know pasta con le sarde a mare? The pasta with anchovies on the sea. We are so positive. When there is a negative situation, we talk in a positive way. The anchovies are on the sea. And you can find in the same, in this pasta, grapes, fennel, and saffron. But the anchovies are on the sea, and they are swimming on the sea. Okay, this is a positive approach of the Sicilian people. So there are a lot of products. We can talk about the street food. We are so famous for the street food. But there is a very important sentence from one of the journalists, so important in Sicily. The name is Gaetano Basile, that you know. And he said that if we wanted to understand a little bit about the history in Sicily, you must to eat. Because every dish can sell something about 23 domination. We have had 23 domination: Greek, Roman, Arabic, Spanish, French, English, and so on. There are a lot. And every domination has left something to the dish. And every dish is a mix of culture, so it's really difficult to say which is the best. So there is another aspect. Every dish can change from here on the other sides of the street. So
exactly.
Because
from
there is an influence, the family.
Family, absolutely.
So, for example, yesterday
we
had the caponata with the sugar or with the chocolate of Modica. You know Modica, and it's a very different. The same dish in different areas is completely different. It's very nice. It's very nice.
And now
so we will wait to come in Sicily the next year, because it's a great experience. This is a real gastronomic destination.
Absolutely. We would like to invite all of you to come to Sicily next year or year round in this spectacular island. And I would like to ask Diane, which is your favorite Sicilian dish? I'm sure you have one.
Oh, no, I couldn't. I
couldn't.
couldn't.
No.
There are, every dish is delicious. And the reason why it's delicious is because the food is pure and natural and made from the heart and made from, a lot of wisdom from the past, so that's wonderful. But you find that also in every region, and you can't say one region is better than the other or not, because every region has its food and cultural diversity, it has its specialities, and sometimes they've been lost, and we have to help them to resuscitate those recipes and so on. In Sicily, it's very much alive everywhere. You go into any restaurant and, you can see the passion that people have for food. So that's really wonderful. But every region has incredible food and cultural diversity. We just have to resuscitate it. And that's what, again, this competition is all about, is to get the young people who are our future to bring all those recipes back to life, and so that we can enjoy that diversity that we've had in Europe in the past, but we can take it to the future.
And that's interesting. We'll talk more later about the diversity in each region. And now it's time to announce the last finalists. We got to the end, so we are really excited to welcome the last finalist, who is Kincho Sats from IGCAT from Romania, which is also a region candidate as a European Region of Gastronomy in 2027. While we're waiting for Kincho, we're going to also watch the video which will introduce her. Welcome to Kincho.
We, the Sekla people, deeply respect the land that sustains us. Our mountains and forests are the guardians of ancient tales, living witnesses to the stories of our ancestors. This landscape shapes our culture, our traditions, and everything we create in the kitchen. Here, in the heart of Harghita County, living close to nature is not a luxury, but a way of life. The vegetables from our gardens, the milk and dairy from our homes, and the livestock we raise are all nurtured by our own hands. This connection gives soul to our cuisine. As a child, the kitchen was the heart of our home. By my grandmother's side, I learned that cooking is not merely a craft, but a way of storytelling. With her old recipes, she brought the flavors of the past to life, while always encouraging me to innovate, to experiment. It was then that the fusion of tradition and modernity came alive in me. As the scent of freshly picked vegetables from the garden and mushrooms gathered in the forest filled our kitchen, I realized that every ingredient carries the essence of the land it comes from. Harghita County is not just a place, it is a legend. In the depths of its forests, where deer roam free, the tale of our ancestors' miraculous stag was born. This myth inspired the dish I present today, venison tenderloin with bare mushrooms and wild garlic. In the purity and harmony of these ingredients lies the soul of this land. The deer grazing on the fresh grasses of the mountains and drinking from pristine springs embodies the treasures of nature. Every bite honors this wonder. I have traveled to more than 50 countries to learn and explore what gastronomy means in different cultures around the world. The greatest lesson I brought back is the power of simplicity and passion. I am fortunate to have learned from renowned chefs who helped me find balance between my grandmother's old recipes and modern techniques. This balance is also my mission, to preserve and reimagine the flavors of Harghita County, showcasing the treasures of this land to the world. When the dish is plated, it is more than just a combination of flavors. It becomes a story where nature, tradition, and innovation unite. This story is the soul of Harghita County. And my dream is to ensure that this soul is recognized wherever it is told.
And while we're waiting from Kincho Sats to come, she's the last one, so it's worth waiting for her. Of course, yeah, she's going to be ready soon. So we were talking before about the different regions, and we know there is so much diversity. I would like to ask Diane, if there is a region in Europe that needs to be more visible, that has a lot of tradition, but needs to, we need to get to know this region more. Do you think?
There are many regions in Europe that would really benefit from international visibility, and Archita, that is coming up, is one of them, lesser known as a region in Romania. And it is so rich. I just come back from the jury visit there because they are aspiring to be European Region of Gastronomy in 2027, and it was so wonderful to meet all the people there, and they were so excited about being visible, at an international level. And so, there's a real expectation there, because if you're not visible, well, in marketing terms, you don't exist. So, how do you tell your story if you're not visible? And I think
so we need to discover definitely more more regions in Europe, and definitely I'm sure there is a lot to discover. I will turn the question to Vincenzo, but maybe about Sicily, if there is a part of Sicily that needs to be discovered. But I think probably we are ready to welcome Kinjo Sats, or if not, we will talk a little bit more. I know it's. Timing is, of course, so important, especially when you cook. It's all about taking, and 1 minute makes a huge difference, especially for people in the kitchen. Seconds, not minute. Here she is. Let's welcome Kinjo Sats from Harghita, from Romania. Welcome. We are excited to know more about her dish. I'm watching all the details, and their dish is a taste of Carpathian forest. So it's interesting how, again, we're gonna this time travel in Romania and the Carpathian forest. We started with Slovenia, and then we went Greece and went Sicily. Of course, from an island to another one, we went to Gozo, and then again Menorca, Spain. Finland, in the region of Sima, and here she is. She will take us to Romania. Welcome, Kinjo, and now it's your time to introduce your dish to the jury.
Today I represent the taste of the Carpathian forest. It's an innovation dish of the Transylvanian Venetian stew, which I have presented you yesterday. The venison plays a huge role in our history, and our ancestors were driven by the golden deer to Transylvania, and because of that, we really play a huge role to the deer. This dish is innovated in many ways from yesterday's. First of all, I have used different modern techniques such as sous vide. The venison is a wild venison from local producers from the Hunter Association in Madaras, Harghita, which was captured and hunted in the Carpathian forest. And I used as a modern technique sous vide because this is a more complex way and different from the traditional way, but still it's really same in taste. And also I have used demi-glace mushroom sauce, which was made with all the vegetables I have used yesterday in the stew too, and all of them were cooked together and reduced. and that's the sauce. And also in the sauce you can find the tarragon oil, which is also a modern way. I used aromatic oil. I made an aromatic oil from the tarragon, which was made by a thermomixer, which is also a modern technique. And the tarragon was fresh from our garden. I bring it from all the way to here. And also the tarragon plays a huge role in our history and in culture and in our gastronomy, because we use it in every dish. We put it in our soups, we put it in our sauces, so it also plays a really important role. And you can also side king oyster mushrooms because porcini is right now out of season in Transylvania because we have big snow since end of October. So that was my replacement as the closest option. And you can see also pickled mushrooms, which is the innovation of the pickled, the fermented cucumbers, which I have used yesterday. And it gives an acid flavor to the whole dish. And this is also different flavors, but it's really similar what you have been trying yesterday. And when you will try the dish, I suggest you to use to try to get together a bit of everything, because the taste will be different.
Thank you so much, Kinjo, for your presentation and for your dish. Now it's the time for the jury for some question.
I have a question. It might not be really connected to the dish, but I saw that you're a professional squash player, and even though it might not look like it, I actually play squash once or twice a week. So my question is, it's important for chefs, and especially young chefs, to kind of disconnect from the kitchen and do other stuff as well. But do you feel that what you get from playing squash you can also implement when you're in the kitchen? I'm thinking it's a lot of reactions and you have to move fast, and it's kind of like being in a busy kitchen playing squash, I would guess.
Yeah, it's really similar. I mean, being a professional gives me the way in the kitchen when I need to control stress. It's helping me is the same before my matches. It's kind of the same feeling that what I have experienced, and also squash gives me a lot of reflex movements, faster movements, and the way of thinking when we are run out of oxygen is really hard to think, and it's always what happens on court. And also sometimes in the kitchen, because of the stress, it happens the same, so it helps me a lot, definitely.
Thank you so much, Kinjo. One more question from the jury. If not, we'll say thank you to Kinjo Satz from IGCAT, which is a region candidate, European Region of Gastronomy in 2027. Good luck with everything. Let's give her a round of applause. You can take your dish. Thank you so much. And we are getting to the end. We are at the end of the, competition. So that's it was so exciting. It was so much fun. And now that we are at the end, the jury will have not easy, of course, work.
I'm glad I
don't want to be, of course, in their shoes, but they will do great because they are professional, and I'm sure they will pay attention. So can we, tell our audience what was the day today? What would impress you mostly? What is your feedback?
I'm impressed with all of them. They're all absolute winners. I mean, the talent on the plate is incredible. And I have to say that, the jury are going to have to look really into the details now. So it's everything. It's from the temperature, the doneness, the saltiness, the elements on the dish, the thought and the thinking behind the history and the tradition. Did they keep the flavors from yesterday's dish, which is a traditional dish, and did they improve it? Because Joan Roca, who's the ambassador of this award, always says if you can't improve the dish, don't do it. You have to be able to improve the traditional dish. And so, that's a question for the jury. They'll be looking also into the details, so the sustainability angle. In the kitchens, they have buckets with plastic waste and with food waste, so we'll be able to analyze, really, have they looked into the sustainability of their dish? You've heard the jury talking about the cuts, using the lesser used cuts of the meats and so on. Important again in the criteria. But the emotion and the storytelling will also come into it. It's because it's the experience. There's a lot to look into, and I don't envy them.
Yeah,
I will be with them.
don't,
I'll be watching. I'll be moderating, but luckily it's not my decision to make, because it will be a very, very tough. Tasting the dishes, it'll be very tough.
Tradition, a question for Professor Russo. Tradition versus innovation, which wins? I know it's not easy. Yesterday they worked on really traditional dishes. Today they presented innovative dishes. Tradition, innovation, there is a balance. It's hard to find a balance.
Yeah, there is a balance. I think there is a balance, because sometimes the flavors are so strong and so good in the traditional dishes. And but I like to see the change, and it's a very hard task. It's a very difficult task for the jury to decide which is the winner, and for me the winner are all of them. They are so able to become ambassador of their country, and this is a very important aspect. I really appreciate this approach.
I agree. They are all winners. They are already ambassador of their own country. As we said before, we got to the end, and that's was a great competition. I hope you enjoyed. I would like to thank you all the supporters from home and here in presence. Thank you so much for being here, for supporting this amazing young chef. Now the jury, of course, as we say, they're gonna have, of course, they have to work, and they will. They will have their time before deliberating the winners, and we will say goodbye, but only for the moment, because we're going to be again on live streaming at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time from Catania, from downtown Catania, from a beautiful location, and it's amazing. We'll share the beautiful location with you. We'll be on a Benedictine monastery in Catania. I would like to invite you to tune in at 7 p.m. and thank you so much for all your support. Thank you, the school, FALCONE School Institute, and the director for this amazing support, and all the staff. I will invite all of you to tune in tonight at 7 p.m. at the European Young Chef Award Competition. Thank you.